Andrew Huberman has conducted and reported on intensive research that shows the true impact of alcohol on the brain and body. I'll link with the full podcast below, but here's some of the key points and my thoughts on them. Number one, even low to moderate alcohol consumption severely impacts the brain, actually causes degeneration, the thinning of the neocortex. This can actually result in the loss of neurons in many brain regions. I don't think it's too long before we're being honest in saying that alcohol directly contributes to brain disorders, diseases, and things like Alzheimer's, dementia. But we're waiting for that science to come out and prove that that's true. I think the truth is coming out for alcohol. I think over the next 5-10 years, society is going to fundamentally change its relationship with alcohol because it's so damaging to human health. And I think as the truth comes out and more cancers are linked to alcohol, more issues, more societal impacts, we are going to finally admit to ourselves that this thing is not good for ourselves. I'm excited for the future of research and the honest truth about how damaging alcohol is. Takeaway number 2, the effects of regular drinking on mood and behavior. If you have a predisposition to alcohol or drink regularly, you will enjoy it more. If you don't, you'll feel like crap. So this goes so well to helping people control their relationship with alcohol, because as we reduce, the less interest, the less benefits you see from alcohol. And I think this is all about building the truth up with ourselves. What we know from other areas of science and neuroplasticity is that if we want to control our relationship with alcohol, we not only have to create the belief, but from that belief, we then create those neural patterns. So learning to control your drinking is about creating that behavior and the belief that you can do it. And that's something where we help people with. It's not that easy to do. Certainly things out there's so many other triggers and people just fall down the rabbit hole. So if you want to learn to control your drinking, we can help you build those neural pathways. I used to love drinking. I used to love an excuse to go out drinking. I would love a lunch, especially those that finished at 5 o'clock in the morning. My wife, not so much, but I loved them. Now, honestly, genuinely, I cannot do it. I try and I have occasionally had a big binge session, but I feel so terrible for a week. I just don't want to do that to my life. And even when I have small amounts of alcohol, I really feel how badly I sleep. I really feel how snappy and angry and low and sad and depressed I am. Why do I want to feel those feelings? Could you imagine this was a pill box, and on the pill box here, it said depressant. This is going to make you feel sad, lonely, maybe suicidal. This will make you feel anxious, snappy, angry, short-tempered, unable to deal with your stress, unable to cope, feelings of being unable to cope with even small things. Take as required. That's the truth of alcohol. Would anybody be taking it? When we start to reduce this involvement and we get ourselves out of the matrix, you see you really don't want it anymore. Takeaway 3, chronic drinking and changes in neural circuitry. No matter how much you drink, the brain is impacted, but that level of impact increases with the volume and consistency and frequency of drinking. So the more you're drinking, the more negative impact it's having on your brain. We now know that it really just takes 2 units, that's 1 drink, to start dulling the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex is the area where you're making rational decisions, where your morals are, where you're making these good decisions in life. Why do you want to switch that off? Dr. Amen even says, why do you want your good decision making and your moral compass to take a vacation? Because that's what happens every time you drink. And takeaway number 4. This we absolutely know. Alcohol and dehydration. Alcohol makes you feel more dehydrated. And there's lots of impacts on your brain and your body, dehydration. But most importantly, that hangover feeling. And this is a really important thing to do. If you have, drink lots and lots of water. It will try to reduce some of those hangover symptoms. I'm so glad I rarely experience a hangover. I'm so glad, because why do I want to feel like that? And more importantly, I feel for those out there who say they don't get hangovers, because they are basically living in a hangover. They've got so used to it, so tolerant to it, that this is just how they live. And they're living down here at 50% of their life. They're sad, they're depressed, they're feeling alone, they're feeling those things and they think it's normal. And it's not. You're taking this pill which says exactly those things on it every day. Could you imagine how outraged at the pharmaceutical you would be if they'd swapped your antidepressant with a depressant and you'd been taking it daily and it was causing you to have sad thoughts and anxious thoughts, depressed thoughts, suicidal thoughts? So come on. I think this whole journey is just highlighting to the fact that when is a good time to change your relationship with alcohol? Right now. It's costing you. It's costing you money. It's costing you health. It's costing you neurons. It's costing you memory. It's costing you long-term health. When I regularly talk to people about what they want in their life, and I'm like, do you want to run around with your grandkids? Because now is the time to choose to do that. If alcohol is regularly featuring in your life or in a big way, then it's taking that from you. Just remember that. Ending on a bit of a sad note, but check out Andrew Huberman's podcast. So informative, so insightful, and you don't just have to listen to me rabbiting on all the time. You can hear it from an actual expert. All right, thank you for joining me on my channel, and I'll see you next week.